That separation, the motor mount broke, and unfortunately the engine propelled itself over the top of the left wing, created a fireball.
Preliminary results of the Kentucky UPS cargo plane crash investigations are out now. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, in the U.S. has released data based on the investigation of the Kentucky UPS cargo crash.
The airplane involved was a McDonnell Douglas II, which was then altered to be an MD-11F. The F stands for freighter. It is now handled by the Boeing Corporation. So whenever you hear that Boeing is a party, it is because of the merger with McDonnell Douglas many years ago. The plane was manufactured in 1991 with a tail number of November 259 UP. The plane was traveling from Louisville, Kentucky to Honolulu, Hawaii. There were 3 souls on board the plane. After being cleared for takeoff, a large plume of fire in the area of the left wing occurred during the takeoff roll. The plane lifted off and gained enough altitude to clear the fence at the end of runway 17R. Shortly after clearing that fence, it made impact with structures and the terrain off of the airport property. A post-impact fire ensued, which covers approximately almost a half of a mile. I do want to also mention, this just happened in the last basically 30 minutes. We have identified the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder. This is what is commonly referred to as a black box. We have investigators now that have located it. As you can imagine, it's suffered some heat, not intrusion, but heat around it. These recorders are built for that. Our mission, again, is to understand not only what happened, but why it happened, and recommend changes to prevent it from happening again.
When you look at the sequence of images that the NTSB has in their preliminary report, the first image shows the airplane basically under a normal condition. Engines are in their proper position, airplane is rotated into a climb attitude. The subsequent frames show the engine starting to separate from the left side. That separation, the motor mount broke, and unfortunately the engine propelled itself over the top of the left wing, created a fireball. I think the fireball got my attention because, again, you have to put things in perspective. Was it the engine that failed first that caused the separation, or did the engine separate and then cause the catastrophic fire? And in this case, it was the engine separating followed by the fire. The NTSB is focusing on the engine pylon. That is what mates the engine to the wing itself. And they're looking at the aft portion of that engine pylon where fatigue cracks were identified, which eventually failed during the accident flight. But it also can incorporate the forward portion of that engine pylon. So they'll be looking to determine whether or not those fatigue cracks were an isolated event or they have basically the basis for a systemic problem. The NTSB will continue their metallurgical work to determine the origin of these fatigue cracks. They'll look at the fleet. Since the fleet's on the ground right now, they'll be looking for similar type damage. Then they'll determine what the actual inspection protocol is and what the remedial action will be to get the airplanes returned to service.
According to NTSB's report, a similar event occurred in Chicago back in 1979 when an American Airlines DC-10 crash killed 273 people. The DC-10 was the predecessor of the MD-11. The MD-11 and the DC-10 have some of the highest accident rates of any commercial planes, according to statistics published annually by Boeing.